Where were you when you learned that Meltzer gave Sergeant Sheik boot camp 4.5 stars? Man, fuck that guy. This is Mania. We marking out for real.
Holy shit, what the hell? We're marking out for real.
What's that?
Oh my goodness.
Yo, what was that? Who was that? Fuck that Meltzer guy.
Fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy.
Oh man, what a return.
Holy shit.
Hola amigos and welcome to the Markout Mania.
Oh my stars and garters. What the hell?
Fuck that guy.
we got James the Extreme Sorno. How are you?
I'm marking out for real. I am good, my friend. I am good. Wow, what an intro. Fuck that guy.
Oh my god.
Jim House.
Snap, crackle, pop. It's the God of Thunder. Zeus King Dark.
Woo! What's going on?
Wow.
Where were you when you learned that Meltzer gave Sarge and Sheik 4.5 stars?
Oh my god. I think it was right here.
Oh my stars and garters. What the hell?
Oh my god!
I literally have tears in my
eye. Brian Bell has an honorary Markout Mania T-shirt. What the heck? I know what he's talking about from the SmackDown last night. Yeah.
B. Brian Bell, what's going on, buddy?
Oh my god! So, hey, speaking of Brian Bell, so that rap, the way this came about. So, I was talking with him. And we were talking about Savage versus Steamboat from WrestleMania 3. And this led to conversation about like matches from the 80s from the WWF. And I had mentioned the not Steamboat, but the Sergeant Slaughter Iron Sheik boot camp match because I like this match a lot. It's one of my favorites from the 80s. And because they do a bunch of nothing. And it's so dramatic, and the crowd is eating out of their hands, and they're just doing nothing. They're just punching, kicking, and bleeding. That's pretty much all they do in this fucking match. And yet it comes off like this immense cinema. So I really get a kick out of it. And Brian Bell mentioned to me, well, what did Meltzer give it? And so I looked up what Meltzer gave it, and this inspired the little rap that you got.
I'm gonna need that, Pedro, so I can incorporate that into my mix, okay? Jim House, Markout Mania for real. My name is Pedro. What? I hate fucking Meltzer. Oh my god. Wow, man. How's
everyone?
After that, we're fantastic. Yeah. Actually, how are you doing, buddy? How are you feeling?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
You're full of shit.
What? I should not have been singing last night.
That's right.
Otherwise, I'm fine though. I mean, I feel pretty normal.
Me and Bean are chastising him, but you know, there's Brian Bell making request after request.
Everybody won't let Pedro rest.
It's like a sickness in a way. You can't stop yourself when you just wanna do it. I can't explain it.
It's just like wrestlers that won't retire.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
I mean, look at Muda.
I can't believe it. You showed us that clip in our chats. Just the great Mudas in AEW. Wow, brutal. I'm not happy about that.
Well, you know.
Yeah, because we really pulled in some
Joe
ratings.
Wants to kill himself for ratings. Who am I to stop him?
But listen, hey, this is just AEW booking. Listening to the Market Mania show, because I've been saying since they announced the retirement tour of Muda that he should have a tag team match with Sting.
That's true.
Yeah, and sure enough. And then, of course, we got the person missing the table bump.
Yeah.
That was funny.
What? If you don't have a botch, is it AEW?
No, obviously not.
I mean, I think even like, say like that Daniel Bryan Hangman Page match, the 1 hour draw, James. I think there was even a botch or two in that match. Like it's not AEW. It's not on brand if there's not.
Well, you know, I mean, no fairness, if you're gonna have a hour match, I expect maybe a little slip up here and there. But but I definitely get your point. Yeah, you know, if it's not AEW, there's no botches, or a bad cameraman he's showing stuff he's not supposed to be seen, etc., etc. But Mood and AEW, brutal. Fucking Tony Khan. Not good.
And then Impact had a pay-per-view last night, and this led to a very interesting conversation with Bean and I.
Impact still exists? Oh, what?
So Sami Callihan was in some garbage match. I mean, it's Sami Callihan. It's going to be garbage. But
it's going to be a garbage match.
Yeah.
But did you see Sami Callihan?
No.
Looking like Cactus Jack, yeah.
Okay, now
he was looking like Cactus Jack?
Yeah,
he was wearing his shirt.
Yeah, he was doing a Cactus Jack cosplay. Yeah,
he had the black t-shirt with the yellow on it and red sleeveless flannel shirt over that, and tights and boots and taped up hands, just like Cactus.
Go back and watch that clip and ask yourself something. Is this really Sami Callihan? Because he looks nothing in the face, looks nothing like we remember of Sami Callihan.
It's really strange.
Like, what happened to his face? Did he get like complete facial reconstruction?
It's very odd. I'm not gonna lie.
Maybe he broke his jaw, broke his nose, and he needed to get fixed. Who knows? Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's
the
same
thing that happened to Charlotte Flair. She broke her nose and her mouth, and then the whole thing redone.
Who knows with her? I mean, who knows?
Look, at least she's not obnoxious, in public.
Yeah.
Currently, at the moment.
Well, yeah, currently at the moment, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because didn't she lose like the first four rows of her teeth? Like the front of her teeth were gone, and her nose was busted, and her lip was busted, her jaw was cracked. The whole thing had to be refixed.
Where is Charlotte Flair, by the way? We haven't heard anything about her in a long ass time since she got married.
I don't know. She's on one of her hiatuses.
Yeah.
Who knows? She's coming back soon, though. He's coming back soon. Charlotte Flair. Braun Strowman going up against Otis was the highlight. Like, really? That's what you brought Braun Strowman for? The feud with Otis? Good job.
Man, why not, man? Oh, I saw we talked a little bit about this before we went on the air. This angle with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline and Sami Zayn. That was pretty tremendous. I won't lie. The angle was funny as.
Yeah, it is a lot better. I think that that one, but
I think I'm. I think
Oh,
I'm fine.
what's happening, James?
I think Zeus is signing autographs.
Oh, he's signing autographs. Okay.
Yeah. He's not super. He's not
He's
famous. He's super famous.
He's working out the price of the autograph. He's like, okay,
Yeah.
if
He's like-
you want just the 8x10, it's 20. But if you want the 8x10 plus I sign your shirt or a part of your body, it becomes 50.
And order Chinese food.
Yeah. Oh, that. On the side, he's like, well, you want some egg rolls and noodles with this.
Yeah. And General Tso's chicken. Come on.
Some,
Yeah.
you can get the 8x10 plus the side order General Tso's.
Yeah. No, I like the whole thing with Sami Zayn because he's doing a great job in that role, man. I mean, he's fantastic in that role.
When I suspect this eventually is going to lead to the Usos versus Sammy and KO at WrestleMania for the tag straps. When they do that, that's going to be as big as the title match. I predict.
Yeah. That's all right, Zeus. You were signing autographs again?
do what?
You were signing autographs again?
No. So no. But I guess I can go ahead and say this now. So I'm back in school.
Whoa.
Yeah, I only need 2 more semesters to get my business diploma degree thing. And,
wow.
So
Okay.
I'm back in school.
Okay, all right. All good.
Y'all were just involved in the other stuff. But yeah, they went ahead and got me signed up and
Go for it, man.
Yeah, that's
Go
awesome.
for it. Go for it.
Get
Add that to your
all
center
the
plate of your
accreditation.
championship belt.
right.
Yeah, I forgot about that, James. The championship belt with the diploma.
Yeah. That's good. But Pedro's, I was saying, I like Zayn in that role. He's an asshole, yeah, but it's perfect for him. It suits him,
Well, yeah, and when they finally do turn on him,
Yeah.
or whichever way, it's gonna be through the roof.
Yeah.
The school wasn't getting as many students when Zeus graduated, so they begged him back. Yes,
Yeah.
Brian.
Pretty much, yeah.
There you go, Brian. Yeah.
They
I mean,
we hate to, we hate to see you go. Let's try to make it as easy as possible for you to stay.
Yeah, I mean, eventually he's going to be a professor there. So
the rumor is that Tanahashi keeps texting him like, "Please don't go, stay in school, stay in school." So
I still got to get I have to get a bachelor's degree.
A goddamn ace is pressuring you. Stay.
He's been busy lately, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been a little busy. New Japan. I haven't even watched anything in New Japan either.
I don't have a clue what's going on in New Japan. I couldn't tell you.
Well, apparently Tama Tonga is getting his title shot soon.
Really?
Yeah, he's got to get it before the end of the year.
He
beat Jay White in the G1.
So he's going to get his push finally, huh?
Yeah, he's gotten a couple. I think he's gotten like one other title shot before. I can't remember. Maybe not. I don't know. But have you guys noticed on those on the collection the prediction stuff is like
that's a nice Okada card.
Oh yeah, that G1 card is nice.
I haven't looked.
But
what's been going on in the prediction?
Well, if you almost every match is a multi tag team match.
Yeah.
6-man, 8-man. Like every single match except for the two young lions going at it, first thing. But
I have noticed this.
I'm just like going, God, how would you like to go to those cards? Like
And
no
it's like
singles matches.
I know it's just this exact same multi-man matches. They're not even changing up who's participating in them.
No.
Well, it's
Same
like
thing.
it'd be like an 8-man match with the exact same guys, and the next night it's a 6-man match.
Same match with the same guys, yeah.
Other matches, yeah. I mean, it's really they ought to be really good matches because everybody should know each other really well by now. I mean, shit.
Let's see.
Yeah, I haven't caught up on anything New Japan. I haven't watched any much wrestling. I've been busy into baseball.
They got a step-up draft. Yeah, the
Yeah,
Okada looks
Okada's
nice. Yo's hair, is that orange right now? Lance Archer looks like he's one of the Bucks. Kushida, that's kind of a boring looking card. The special one is
Dave Finley and
yeah, that one's not so.
But Okada card is nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm not spending stones on it.
Gonna make me. I was just about to say. Now I gotta do a step-up drop in hopes of getting that.
But how many of those has he got?
Of what? That kind of card?
Yeah, that G1 winner. He's already got 2, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
I think it's 2. Yeah. Yeah, if not more.
Because he's won 3 total, right? Didn't we say that the other week?
I think so, yeah.
I believe.
Whoa, James turned into The Rock.
3 G1s.
He's getting ready for the. I guess you're expecting the Yankees to win it all, so he's getting ready for. He's
the 35th championship.
No, don't. I think Zeus is still mad because his Carolina Panthers lost to my Giants. So, he's still mad about that from last week, but it's okay.
No, because, I mean, you're such a fair weather Giants fan.
No, I'm not. I've always been a Giants fan. I hate the Jets. I don't like the Jets.
So, the Yankees have won 27 World Series championships.
27.
That is correct. Yes.
How long? In what, 100 years?
Yeah, the last championship they won is 2009. So it's been a while.
It's been that's a drought.
Yeah.
So the Yankees started in 1913, or
actually,
the Highlanders before that.
Right. They were the Highlanders before that.
So 1903.
Mm-hmm.
So next year will be their like 120 years of existence.
Something like that, yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, they haven't won the last World Series championship was in 2009, so it's been a minute. So I'm hoping, I am hoping that, and my trip to New York actually coincides with them getting to the World Series.
Oh my God!
So James, for some comparison here. So Real Madrid, this is this year's their 120th year in existence.
Right.
So they're like 1 year older, and in terms of championships, so this will really please Zeus. Talking about the Yankees titles. Wait till you hear this. So let's see. They have 35 La Liga championships. That's the domestic title. And they have 14 Champions Leagues. That's the European Cup, which is more than anyone by almost double. So yeah, apparently James and I both were born into the also white uniform themed team.
Stripes.
Oh my goodness!
All I know is that the Yankees have the tuxedo of baseball uniforms. It's classic. There's no names on the back because there's no I in team. It's about the team. It's classic. It's great. I love the Yankees. I
No,
love
no,
being the
I
evil
but the
empire.
greatest collection of prima donnas the world has ever seen.
I love being the evil empire. I love that everybody hates us. I love it, but bring it on. I love being the fucking heel. Bring it
Brian
on.
Bell. Brian Bell. Yankees and Real Madrid talk. What happened to Mark Mania? Well, okay. Well, we'll off the sports talk. So who's watched anything wrestling? I know Zeus, you watched Demolition versus the British Bulldogs this week, right?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that sounds like a classic.
And it was 88, which I didn't even realize the Bulldogs were still there.
Yeah.
By 88. I know they were gone by like 80. It was probably their last year. They're 88, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I don't think I think they were definitely gone before Tully and Arn got there.
How was Dynamite's performance? Because I know he was majorly injured by this point in time.
Yeah, the Bulldogs took a lot of bumps. You know that, the Hart Foundation controlled the action. Hook and crook.
Demolition.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, Demolition. And actually, that was they worked really well together. Axe and Smash did.
I like Demolition.
I mean, they're just honestly, if they had been, Crusher Khrushchev and the Masked Superstar, they probably wouldn't have wrestled a lot different. It was a lot of it was put into the air and everything else, and then when you look at the way that that they would do those synchronized double team moves, the boom, the double fists and double punches and stuff like that. I mean, they were good, solid guys anyway.
Yeah.
And they were both good at being, heels, and they're both strong as,
Yeah.
They were really, really, I mean, they picked up, Davey Boy and Dynamite like like small children.
I mean, yeah. I mean, in all fairness, too, the Masked Superstar wasn't the Masked Superstar anymore. I mean, his body was beat up by then, but he was still who he was. And, he was an ox. The guy's a fucking massive,
Yeah.
I was a huge Demolition fan. We know this already.
Yeah.
I was a big Demolition fan. I know they were Road Warrior knockoffs. Like, this is always acknowledged. Yes, they were meant to be knockoffs or whatever, but it's unfortunate that had to be the case with the gimmick, but for whatever reason. But I still really always
I enjoyed them.
Well,
and they had memorable tag title matches.
Superstar told me himself. He's like, Vince felt like he wasn't ever going to get the Road Warriors, so he had to make his Road Warriors.
Right. And what's weird is he made like 2 of them. So he had Demolition, right? But then he had the Powers of Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he didn't make them though.
Right. But the presentation is basically the heel Road Warriors. It's the Powers of Pain.
Right.
Yeah, but the Powers of Pain, you had to keep their matches short, otherwise they were exposed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, who were they? They weren't. They weren't going to wrestle long matches anyway.
Right. Yeah, but you can get a 20-minute match out of Demolition. You couldn't say the same for Powers of Pain.
Brian Bell says, "Nice to hear Zeus enjoying the best tag team, Bulldogs."
You know what? That match is not a great example of the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
They were definitely in their prime. 80, 85, 86.
Oh. James, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
It was just not. It was not. It was not a great example of their work.
Yeah,
I was a fan of the British Bulldogs.
Rougeau's coming at the end.
Yeah.
Of the match.
The stuff with the Bulldogs and the Hart Foundation is like the best.
Yeah.
Stuff you're going to see in terms of the tag team stuff from that era, in my opinion. On the WWF, in the WWF.
And I probably need to go back and watch some more Bulldog stuff from the older years because I have a lot of bad memories of their matches just not being as good as.
Hey, look, Tom Gardner's here.
Hey, Big Tom.
Tom, what's going on, buddy? How are you? Tom Gardner's in the house.
But it's just not a great. It's like you said. I mean, it was. Dynamite was really banged up by then.
His back was a disaster at that point in time. So
yeah,
it's a shame what happened to him, man.
Is it really?
I mean,
he was kind of a garbage human, wasn't he? So,
yeah, man. I mean,
who isn't, right? Who isn't?
You read about the shit that he's done,
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about the the convent that brought us Mother Teresa or anything.
Yeah, he was a bad person, man. He was brutal.
There's a lot of them. I mean, it's been a lot. We talked about Snuka earlier. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, that match. I was watching that All Japan match with Rudy Rosie and Jimmy Snuka, and knowing what you know now, and you watch that match from '84, and you see Snuka's face, you're like, I get it now. That man was whacked out, man. He was blaming himself. He was just losing his shit.
Have you ever seen Snuka versus Steamboat from All Japan?
No, it was on there though, but no.
Yeah, I'll find it and post it in the chat sometime later. But yeah, it's pretty interesting match to watch.
I was watching Killer Khan as a fucking face in All Japan. I was like, wait, what? He's a face? I was like, I don't remember him being a face.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
Yeah, but he was a face. I was like, wow, look at this.
James, look into the private chat. Just don't say anything publicly. It's just a little something for you to check out. But
a little nugget.
Yeah, a little nugget. So I watched some old All Japan this week. I saw Giant Baba versus Stan Hansen over the PWF title. I saw it from '83, then '84, and then '85. And those were like the last gasp of Baba as a main eventer.
Yeah.
And they're kind of, if you watch them as a trilogy, it's kind of like amazing storytelling, because like the first match in '83, Baba comes off kind of feeble and at first you might think it's unintentional, but when you watch the other two matches, you go, oh, they're telling a story here. So the '83 match, Baba's kind of feeble, and Hansen's the young gun just taking him out, and you're like, oh, he's like, I've put Baba out to pasture. So then a year later they have a rematch for the title. And but now Baba is like, he's taking it seriously. He's up for it. He's moving like the Baba of the '60s and the '70s. You're just like, oh my God, like Baba was still going like this by '84. And even with that, so even though this is a more game Baba, he doesn't like win decisively. He wins on like a small package. So he still is like, has his eye toward, as the booker, towards the future, right? He knows Hansen is the future, foreign guy.
Yeah.
And so then a year later they have another match, and Hansen puts him away for good, and the post match is tremendous, because like Baba just milks forever. He's milking the sad old washed up old man look to the crowd and stuff, and you can tell he's doing it on purpose. It's like he's putting over the other guy, and also like saying farewell as the crowd, because the crowd is still like into him like it's he's winning the NWA championship for the entire country of Japan. They're still into him like to that level, but he knows he's getting limited and he needs to go.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's just kind of amazing if you watch it. I mean, they're short matches, and there's nothing super complicated. It's all real simple kind of stuff. But I thought they did a tremendous job. I hadn't seen them in a while, so I was happy to rewatch all those.
That's cool.
Well, all Japan was crazy back in the day. I loved it.
I also watched a little bit of some more WCW from 1984 from TBS because that guy Mongolian Chop was like, it's like I need to see more them, and I'm like, here it is. Here's 2 hours of it.
I love watching the Jim Cornette promos back in those days, 84, 85, 86 on WCW, when like him and Tony Schiavone standing side by side, and he just goes nuts on Schiavone, man. He just like somebody unplugged Cornette. He's like 500 miles an hour, and like everything he says, it just hits you like an hour later. He's like, "Oh, that was funny." It was like he was a savage back then. He didn't give a shit.
He just ripping people a new one.
Yeah, he didn't care.
And
it was brutal too. Paul Jones.
But he would also when they would get shown up or whatever, he would turn on that he would be that spoiled brat and cry about it and just make everybody happy as fuck that he was miserable.
Yeah.
I mean, he just he played he got his comeuppance. All the time. Remember when the Fantastics smashed him into his own birthday cake?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, that was great. I mean, when people went bonkers. That's if you want to mind, I honestly, I'll take the Fantastics any day over the British Bulldogs.
Mm.
And they're really great technically, especially in their prime. But
I mean, give us the Fantastics and the Midnights against each other.
Yeah.
It's gonna be just about the best tag team match you're gonna see. So
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Tom. I definitely missed the extended spaces in between the matches too. Yeah. It was good stuff. I mean, that WCW show, that Saturday night show, that 605 show, that was the best wrestling show on TV back then.
Yeah.
Well,
the thing is they could do a lot with it because sometimes it was 3 hours. But
that's true.
They do a lot in 2 hours. There was a lot of short matches. If when you go back and you watch those, a lot of those matches were short, but they have great promos. A lot of spontaneous, stuff that obviously wasn't overly rehearsed. And you just got a lot of great shit. But I mean, like for 1 hour, I don't think you could beat World Class, and it's from 82 to 86. That 5-year run that was probably the best hour of wrestling.
Oh man! Speaking of that, I was watching the 2016 WWE Hall of Fame, where I watched Hanson's speech and I watched the Freebirds. And I wanted both of them. I wanted Hanson and I wanted the Freebirds to just keep telling us stories. Just keep, like, it was so entertaining just listening to them. It's like, stop with the jokes. Just keep telling us crazy stories.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when Jimmy Garvin got going talking about the Freebirds at that World Class thing I went to, I mean, it was just. I could have sat there all day and listened to them talk about the crazy shit they used to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that was just so, just overall, just that was that was a better panel than the ECW one.
But Zeus, the ECW one, you had that kid.
That Zeus, you should have chair shot at that fucker.
Yeah.
Remember the Photoshop we did of like Zeus pointing at the kid?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Tom. Yeah, that's right. I totally forgot about the Killer Bees. Jumping Jim Brunzell and B. Brian Blair. Remember that shit? Oh.
And that's Jim Brunzell's second best tag team he was ever in.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Oh my God. Speaking of the Bulldogs, how many title reigns did they have at WWF? Only 2 times, right?
One.
I think there's one.
One?
One.
Damn.
Wyndham and Rotundo won it twice.
Okay. Oh yeah, the U.S. Express.
Hart Foundation only held it twice.
Yeah, Hart Foundation had it twice. Demolition had it twice.
3 times.
Demolition had it 3 times. Oh, they did. You're right. They did have it 3 times.
Because they lost to Tully and Arn, Connection, and the Hart Foundation.
Yes, you're right.
The Brainbusters, managed by Bobby Heenan. That was awesome.
Tully and Arn. There's no such thing as the Brainbusters.
Oh yeah.
We were using the WWF names, but yeah. That match, that 2 out of 3 falls match where Tully and Arn win the titles off Demolition is so good. Like, it's not an exaggeration. Like that match is so good. And the celebration afterwards in the locker room is immense. Arn Anderson does this little like 10-second promo as part of it, and it is just amazing. He says something like, diversity introduces a man to himself and all this stuff. And you're like, oh, this is amazing. And Bobby Heenan, his celebration, the whole Heenan family, just the way they're celebrating is just like fantastic. Everyone,
not for nothing, but WWF/WWE's always had great title win celebrations. I mean, even the Hogan win over the Iron Sheik when Andre poured champagne. When Ric Flair won the Royal Rumble, he was like, "This is the greatest title in the history." He goes, that's when he got that famous promo, with the tear in my eye, and then you got the other side of the spectrum where I remember when Lex Luger won the WCW Heavyweight Championship, and you see all the wrestlers in the ring, and you see the expressions on their faces of how forced it is, because they were all told to be out there, and then like half of them are looking like, do I really want to be out here? No, it was brutal.
The one thing I missed the most about title changes in the old WWF was Howard Finkel. The way he would announce that someone had won the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no one anywhere did it like he did it. When he'd be like, I knew. And it had like almost a punch to it. Like, the whole face would explode almost when he'd just say it. I knew.
World Wrestling Federation Heavyweight Champion. Yeah.
Oh man, it's something about the way he would do it was just amazing.
Yeah, his delivery was just beyond compare.
Even when Bret Hart after he beat Yoko at the Garden, I mean, that was a nice celebration too.
Yeah.
It was always.
Oh yeah, with Owen like at the end of the ramp shaking his head.
Yeah.
Oh,
he refused to come into the ring.
Yeah.
I mean, it was always good stuff, I like when Ron Simmons won the strap.
They were actually, able to shine poop in.
James, that when Ron Simmons wins the title off Vader, that one kid in the crowd just losing his fucking
loses his shit. Yeah.
The kid with the glasses,
just
losing his shit. Oh man,
yeah,
that place erupted. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ron, Ron was just he was over. He was, he was really good. Uh, you know, I saw somebody because they just had the it was just the 27th anniversary of Ronnie Garvin winning the world title from Flair.
That was horrendous. That was atrocious.
It wasn't atrocious.
That was horrible, Zeus. That was horrible. Come on.
No, it wasn't.
James,
The match was fine. It's how they dealt with it. But
it's just
by not telling Ronnie Garvin that he was going to be able to have a decent little run with it, he had to go home with it because he wasn't going to job to Ric Flair after 5 fucking days.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him.
No, that part, right.
Debacle, but the fact that that it happened like that it was a breakdown of everybody.
Yeah.
And as Zeus alluded to, something I always point out about the Ronnie Garvin thing, the matches with Flair were good. They're good matches. And like the match where he loses the title back, it's a good match.
I was just never the biggest Ronnie Garvin guy. And I thought that I was like, what are they doing? And then just to put it right back, I'm like,
and I know I always bring
he was Zeus. He was over, but you really want to put the title on that guy? Honestly.
Absolutely.
You couldn't think of nobody better to put the title on at that time?
Well, no, Barry Windham, but he didn't want it.
Mm-hmm. That was definitely my first choice. It would have been Windham, yeah.
Nobody wanted to be a 5-day champion. That was that was another problem.
Yeah.
Is they'd established this, this way of doing things under, Harley basically. And people, people didn't want to be Tommy Rich and be a pariah and cast out after a couple of years. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, it's just like, the
whole situation was not pretty.
I mean, because Ronnie Garvin got in everybody's shit back then in the 80s. Like his feud with Jake Roberts over the WCW TV title on TBS, shit, that stuff was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying he wasn't good, and I'm not saying Ronnie Garvin wasn't over, but the whole situation was, first of all, it's fucked up. Okay, I totally agree with you. Nobody wants to be champion for 5 days.
Yeah.
The way the whole situation went down, I left the whole bad taste in my mouth. I was like, no.
But I think it gets universally shit on in this day and age, and it's mostly by people who weren't alive back then.
Right.
Who talk shit about
it. Do we need
They didn't understand what was going on,
Do we need to go back and rewatch the whole Flair Garvin series of
yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm down.
We should do this. Yeah, we should find the matches, find the angles. We should watch the whole thing.
And I'll tell you something else too that I saw. All right, so
Jesus, who booked that? Who booked that whole thing to go down like that?
Dusty was there then.
Yeah. Was it Noli?
I don't know. I can't remember who was booking it at what time, but I mean that was 87. I know Dusty was booking in 88 for sure.
Okay.
So, I don't know exactly, but another thing that happened. It was like it wasn't last week. It was like week before, but Pete, somebody had posted. It's like who's a fan of the Freebirds, and I'm like, yeah, me. And, and I posted pictures and I was like, don't try to tell me that Jimmy Garvin wasn't.
I remember that. Yeah.
I thought
he was a Freebird. Yeah.
Right. but Michael P.S. Hayes saw the one dude that was trying to shit on Jimmy Garvin, and he's like, no, buddy. He's like, Jimmy Garvin was a free bird before we called him a free bird. You know,
Yeah.
like don't ever tell me that he wasn't. He's like, he was drawing money with fucking David, with David Von Erich in World Class in '83.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Remember the whole angle with Precious and
Oh yeah, and Sunshine.
yeah, Sunshine and all that. Oh my God, that was classic, man.
God, and then you find, we found out it's like they just told the girls to really fight
Yeah.
because they couldn't wrestle. Like, y'all just start whooping each other's ass. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy, man.
Going back to Ron Simmons for a second,
Oh,
as
yeah.
WCW champion. The only thing I didn't like about the whole run, I thought he should have got a longer run with the strap. And B, I call me petty. You can say I'm nitpicking, but I don't recognize that title as a WCW World Heavyweight Champion. That's such a piece of shit looking belt. I hated that belt.
PWF belt that they used for it. When
No,
Flair-
oh yeah. Oh yeah. 10 times better than that. But I always wanted fucking Simmons and Vader to hold the big fucking gold belt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sadly, there's that was another,
Another debacle.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, but I mean, they had, Flair, Flair won the big gold back from Barry, and then, then he went and beat Vader,
Yeah. I mean, I was like, why are they putting that shitty strap on? I couldn't stand that belt. I was like,
I thought it was fine because, we didn't have they used big gold to represent it, but there wasn't, a WCW world title when they formed the WCW world title.
Right. I just wasn't a fan of that belt. For some reason, it just like, I have a love-hate relationship with it.
But like, without them branding the big gold, it had that amorphous kind of ability to be in different places, and it's kind of why it's survived. And it's a beautiful belt. I mean,
well, it was in New Japan for a while, right? Yeah, because it was used what? Did Muda use it as an international?
No. That was the NWA world title.
NWA world title. I'm sorry. Yeah. Right.
That was G1 Climax 90.
Right.
That was this year, the 30th anniversary, and they have
That
not.
was an NWA international. Right.
They still have not released that G1, on New Japan World. Which, if they'd have done that, I'd probably still be paying for it.
Hmm.
Just to be able to watch that one again. But
if they would have Stardom as part of New Japan World, I would be on it.
Yeah. But I wasn't a fan of that. I always wanted Simmons to hold the big gold. Plus, I wanted him to hold it a little bit longer. And I was mad at the fact that when Simmons showed up in WWF, he was never acknowledged as a WCW champion. I was pissed off at that, too.
Well, that's the WWF's fault, not.
Yeah, I know. That was all Vince. I know.
I mean, they didn't acknowledge really. I mean, they barely acknowledged, Ric Flair. I mean, they had to acknowledge Ric Flair. But, I mean, Vader, they never really did.
Are we forgetting what they did to Ricky Steamboat?
Yeah, Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah.
I mean, Ricky Steamboat.
Look what they did to Dusty. Dusty went in there as a 3-time world champion.
But yeah, but look, Ricky Steamboat had the whole Intercontinental title run.
Yeah.
With the WrestleMania 3 moment, right?
Oh, yeah.
He goes back to the NWA, whatever. He has the whole thing with Flair. He wins the championship, all those amazing classic matches. And then when he comes back, not only is that never referenced, but his very, very famous intercontinental title run is basically wiped away so he can do a fire breathing gimmick. The one time I saw Ricky Steamboat live in person was a house show in '91, and he was doing the fire breathing gimmick with the whole dragon.
That's horrible. That was horrible.
Yeah,
that was horrible.
That was like
and he was wearing his shit with the tail, right?
Yeah.
Pedro, what year was that?
I think 91.
Yeah. But he came back to WCW, and he had the tag team title run with Dustin and the TV and the US title. And
you remember that clash where is it Arn and Zbyszko are waiting for opponents, and Dustin comes out, and there's the guy with the you remember those Halloween catalogs?
And
he has that giant dragon mask.
Yeah, he came out. He was hurt, and he basically called. Cloak, had a big dragon, giant dragon mask.
He throws it back. The place explodes. I remember watching that on TBS and being like, "Oh!" My brother and I just freaking out. Oh my god!
Yeah, but somehow Rip Rogers thinks that surprises are a bad idea.
I remember watching Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
I still haven't seen Smoky Mountain.
And the Midnight Express, he needed a mystery tag team partner, and there was a figure underneath this big blanket staying in the middle of the floor. Right? So it's them and I forgot who they were fighting. But the Midnight Express were actually faces. And they were begging Jim Cornette, please help us, please help us, please help us. I need to get this another mystery partner. And they just came off the NWA run. They just came off the WCW run. And Jim Cornette pulls out the blanket and it's double-A Arn Anderson. Big surprise. So who said surprises suck? I loved it, right? And Arn Anderson grabs the mic and cuts a promo and goes, these were heated. I hated these guys down in Georgia, but Bobby Eaton, he needed my house, so I put all the business aside, and I come here to help them, and we're going to kick their ass. And that was one of the great surprises to me back then. Because you had Arn Anderson was always fighting with the Midnight Zone because the Horsemen. And then he became his partner, and then it was a big mess. But him pulling up the thing, and it was Arn Anderson, Smoky Mountain. I thought that was a great surprise. We want to talk about surprises. James, I thought that was good for me.
James, obviously, you didn't catch the biggest surprise of all time when the lights went out on AEW and they came back. And it's the deathmatch legend Luther. Or the Blade one. Do you remember when the Butcher and the Blade debuted? And they came out of the ring to attack Cody, and Excalibur's like, it's the Blade, it's the Blade, and Jim Ross is like, who?
What are these guys?
And they Excalibur, instead of like, Jim Ross is trying to give him an opening to explain to the audience who this is. When Excalibur finally takes it, he just says, it's the Butcher and the Blade and the Bunny. And everyone's still like, who the fuck are these people? That's a surprise.
Hey, Jim Ross is going, the little guy parked my car for me. Fuck if I know who these guys are. When the hell did we sign them?
Tom Garner is saying that Dusty booked till November '88, and then Jim Crockett Jr. December of '88. Okay.
That would be after they fired him.
After they fired him. After
they fired him for bleeding with the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
The infamous spike to the eye spot. And that was also when my mom unplugged the TV because she couldn't handle the file.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you, Mom Ra.
Did you say Mamra?
Mumra.
Like Mumra?
Yeah, Mumra.
Like Mumra from the Thundercats?
Ancient decrepit of evil.
Decrepit farm into mom.
Marvel. Creature with a spatula and an apron. Arr.
Sound like ripped horn, but it's Mumra.
Oh my god!
Have y'all ever heard those famous outtakes of the Thundercats, like from when they were recording stuff and they would be cursing or messing up?
Oh god,
no,
that shit's hilarious.
Okay, I'll post that in our chat. Let me pull that up. I'll post that in our chat.
I always wondered, because I've been they got the Watch the New series on Vice coming up in October. Was October 4th or October 7th? It's called Tales from the Territories, and they're gonna have like a round panel discussion of like the old school territory days. Like Abdul the Butcher's gonna be on there, Bret Hart, like old school wrestlers, and so Vice has been showing Dark Side of the Ring a lot. And they've been coming up with Gino Hernandez, who is on now. And I was wondering if he didn't pass, Gino Hernandez, you think he would have made it to WWE?
No.
No?
Well, I mean, it's possible. But my gut reaction says no.
Right.
My gut reaction says he would have ended up in WCW.
Yeah, okay. That does make a little more sense.
I mean that makes more sense, but
yeah. I think Vince would have changed his fucking name anyway.
Yeah, and who knows exactly. My money says it wouldn't have worked, but who would have thought that Kurt Hennig would have worked with the Mr. Perfect thing.
Yeah.
My take is going to be very dark, so I'm going to warn y'all ahead of time. I think Gino Hernandez, if he doesn't die when he dies some other time.
Really?
I think he's that heavy into the drugs. I think one way or another he's ending in the ground. That's the impression I get.
Because I think he had the charisma that Vince would love.
Right, but he sadly he had the drug addiction that the gangsters love.
Right. And then Vince would probably go, I don't need another Shawn Michaels, right?
I mean, he really wasn't. It wasn't even like that. It's like he was on his way to being the Tony Montana of fucking wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, all the talent and charisma in the world, of course, he's amazing. But I'm kind of sad in some ways Chris Adams is gone, because I feel like he could have had a renaissance later in his life, like some other people would have. Do you remember a while back? We watched some clip of him from England, from what's that? The World of Sport, and he was hitting the super kick, and he was slapping his leg, and it was like we never noticed when we were younger that he was slapping his leg. Now we notice.
Mm-hmm.
There was
he only did it once in a match,
right? I was watching
40 times.
I saw some clip from All Japan Women recently, and I can't remember what year it was or who was in the ring, but they did a spot, and I could hear the slap happen, right? I could hear the slap, but I couldn't see it, and I had to re-watch the sequence like a few times before I saw it. The girl who was getting hit was doing a thing where as she was falling down or going on about to fall down, she hit her stomach to make the slap for this specific move. I was like, oh wow, they hit that so well sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And No one hides it at all now.
No.
I used to explain to people how good Chris Adams was. I said, he's so good that when he was a babyface, you could have never imagined him being a heel. And then when he was a heel, you could never imagine him being a babyface.
You know,
that's how good he was.
He did when he was, when he was like betrayed and became a baby face again, which would, usually what would happen. You felt that he was very authentic. His accent, came off as a, very authoritative and very believable. And he was really good at, at that kind of thing.
It was good, man. World Class was flooded with stars back in the day. Flooded. Yeah. I mean, everybody. I mean, everyone was fantastic back then. I mean, it was ridiculous.
King Parsons, they had.
Oh, I used to love King Parsons, man. He was awesome.
Shirts, that they had. The Von Erichs with all their, what people, over exaggerate their faults and everything. And, they were, fantastically over and full of passion, which, makes up for, a lot. And, guys like, everybody that Skandar Akbar had.
Skandar Akbar.
Oh, all the guys that Gary Hart had.
Right.
I used to love the Missing Link. He was awesome.
Yeah, don't forget Great Muta was in World Class for a very short time.
Mm-hmm.
He had the Battle of the Claws with Kevin.
Skandar Akbar, the Gary Hart you mentioned, and then Percy Pringle. All three of them had such great stables of heels.
Percival Pringle the third. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, we hated that dude so much.
Yeah, well, he was easy to hate.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, as a Texan, someone who was watching this, it's like we hated this fucker.
Yeah.
We were like, I can see my brother and I just being like, I can't stand this guy.
I used to like Al Perez, man. He was good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he's another guy. He didn't fucking age. His hair his hair color changed. He still looks 35.
Wasn't he one of the Scorpions in WCW?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
right.
Briefly. Yeah. God, talk about somebody just did not. Nobody got behind him. I mean, they threw the damn national title on Buddy Landell, and they didn't give Al Madrill. I mean, Al Perez.
Al Madrill, holy shit.
Yeah, Al Madrill.
Al Madrill, yeah.
Brian Adias.
Yeah, Brian Adias.
Yeah, I remember Brian Adias, yeah.
Or sometimes, depending on where he was.
I remember when Brian Adias turned heel. I remember that.
Yeah.
He got booed out of the building.
Yeah, because he was like he's like the only person there that hadn't turned on the thunder. Like, what's your turn? Oh man, really? Like,
yeah.
They're gonna hate me. They're gonna egg my car. And then go outside and to see it's like a 1981 Corolla with 3 wheels and a spare tire. Because they probably didn't pay him shit because he looked like he was wearing the same damn boots every match for like his entire career.
And those same royal blue tights. Remember those tights? He used to always wear the same color blue ones. Yeah.
Those powder blue ones that.
Yeah.
But I mean, they had they got Killer Khan for a little while. They had Kamala.
Yeah.
Gang, Angel of Death.
All the Angel of Death, that bald-headed guy, right? With like the mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was one of the Russian assassins with Jack Victory. The masked Russian assassins from the.
Hey, I had a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to Tijo Khan?
Man, he just left like about 1989 or 90. He just like
disappeared, right?
Faded away, yeah. Which is crazy because Like he really could have been one of those guys like the Sultan for Vince.
Yeah.
You know how Vince loved to really ham up a bad a fake Asian gimmick.
Sultan, aka Rikishi.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How many gimmicks has Rikishi been in his
Oh,
career?
please.
He was one of the Samoan SWAT team, right?
Saying right, yeah. SST, yeah.
And
Wasn't that him and Tommy the Kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
No. Was it?
Well, it was Samula.
Right.
And
Let me look this up.
I could have sworn that Tommy the Kid was one time part of the SST, no?
he was part of the. He was the Samoan Savage that joined them at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Samu and Fatu were the original SST.
Right. Samu, that's right. That's right.
He had a lot of gimmicks. Rikishi. The Sultan.
Yeah, I'm look here are
Al Snow as Avatar.
look at this list of names for Rikishi. Here are his list of gimmicks. Alofa, the Polynesian Prince.
Brutal.
Fatu, Head Shrinker Fatu, Hustle Rikishi, J.R. Smooth, Junior Fatu, Kishi, Make a Difference Fatu, Rikishi Fatu, Solafa Fatu Jr., the Sultan, Sumo Rikishi.
Brutal.
Man,
that's a lot of gimmicks.
That's a lot of gimmicks.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Nash said that's a lot of gimmicks.
Kevin Nash, the great and powerful Oz. That was horrible.
That whole they had the Islanders. That they were part of that tag team crop in the 80s. That kind of they never really. It's the crazy thing is Haku and Tama were probably a better tag team than Haku and Andre the Giant, but it was Haku and Andre the Giant that won the tag team titles.
Yeah.
I think, who I think, because everybody talks about those tag team in the 80s in the WWF, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
But I know it was slightly before that time, like slightly, but who doesn't get enough love in my book, I think at least. Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans, they were badass back in the day. They were just ending in the 80s while all that shit was starting.
Yeah.
But they don't get enough love because they were badass.
Yeah, and I even told them that when I met them at WrestleCade, I was like, you guys were fucking scary,
Yeah.
And I mean, they're like a dynasty.
Yeah,
the whole family is like a dynasty in wrestling.
Yeah, but they just missed out on that big explosion. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Another thing too from that that Demolition versus Bulldogs match. Fuji was the manager of Demolition.
Yeah,
and he was World Tag Team Champion in WWF.
Yep.
And they never touch on it. They even have Lord Alfred Hayes is helping call that match, and he doesn't even touch on that. Of course, how many hardcore WWF fans even know that Lord Alfred Hayes was a wrestler?
I probably nobody.
You should watch the Lord Alfred Hayes stuff from World of Sport.
Yeah.
There is some where this old lady is going after him, trying to hit him with an umbrella.
Yeah,
he
Brian
was
Bell,
like a
the
total
Dream
comedy.
Team back in the day, Brutus Beefcake. Yeah.
I hated them so much.
But you know
I
what?
was never a Hogan fan, so
the Beefcake. There's a match everyone should see.
I used to like Beefcake and Valentine. That was my shit.
Yeah, you should. There's Beefcake and Valentine versus Ricky Steamboat and Tito Santana.
Oh,
And Ricky Steamboat is from like 85 or 86. People should watch this match. It is so good. You will just be like, oh my God. You'll just be losing your mind. Steamboat and Tito Santana both wear like white gear, like white tights and boots and stuff in this match. It is so good. I got to find that somewhere.
Hey, if I had a dream match, I would put Beefcake and Valentine versus Dusty Rhodes and Nikita Koloff, the Superpowers. That'll be my 80s tag team match.
dude, I've seen a lot of people like where I have no idea why he's gotten this like resurgence of fan favoritism because he didn't have it while he was alive. But I've seen people say shit like, people say that Tom Zink was a better partner for Rick Martel than Tito.
Stop!
Like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Stop! Who said that? Tom Z. Who said that? They need to get slapped. Tom Zink was atrocious.
Their names are actually Tom Zink.
Tom Zink Jr. said that? No, Tom Zink was brutal.
The poster who said this is their handle is TZ. No.
Yeah, right. Tom Z fan for life.
Tom Zink was horrible. Horrible.
He was just average. He was so average. He was capable of, he was just the best looking, enhancement guy that happened to look like, on steroids. And, and that just, and people remember him way more fondly now. I mean, I literally have a picture of a guy flipping him off as he's coming to the ring in Greensboro, him and Brian Pillman.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. Well, picture tells 1,000 words. There you go.
Have y'all ever
Tom
seen
Zink was horrible. Yeah, Brian Bell, I agree. Nobody in history said one good thing about Tom Zink. Me, Brian Bell, right there. There it is.
Have you ever seen that picture of him and Johnny Ace like sitting in each other's lap on some plane?
No, and I don't want to after that.
Oh man,
no.
It's weird. It's weird.
I was never a big fan of Tom Zink. I used to like Rick Martel.
Nobody was a big fan of Tom Zink. And stupid chicks, Ric Flair. That's like Tom Zink.
I used to like Rick Martel, but I think he got a raw deal as AWA champ.
Who?
I mean, that's a lot of people, but Rick Martel was great. I like Rick Martel a lot.
Yeah, I did too. But as AWA champ, I think he got shitted on.
Well, it's just kind of weird that he should have gotten more credit, for passing out to the, he should have passed out to the backbreaker.
Mm-hmm.
Not give up. That
right.
Because it didn't help anybody. It just hurt him. It didn't help Stan Hansen.
No.
I mean, it helped him a little bit, but Stan Hansen stopped using the damn the
right.
Yeah.
Another thing, like Rick Martel should have had at least one Intercontinental title reign, at least one.
Mm-hmm.
Even as the model,
Yeah, I mean the model.
I hated that gimmick. Oh.
I know it's a dumb gimmick, but he got it over. He committed to it fully.
He did.
And he would chew the scenery like no tomorrow under that gimmick.
I used to like Tony Gurria, Rick Martel. They were good together back in the day.
I haven't seen a whole lot of Gurria, but
I thought they were great. That's another tag team who just missed out on that big push in the 80s.
I tell you, an early 80s WWF tag team people don't talk enough about is Adrian Adonis and Dick Murdoch.
Oh yeah, come on, they were awesome. Yeah,
they were a fantastic tag team, and more importantly, they had great matches with like everyone they faced, and
didn't they have the belts?
Yeah, right? They had the belts. they have a series of matches with the Briscoe brothers in the round 83 or so that is really great to watch. And also, while they're doing this deal, Adrian Adonis has a series of matches against Backlund for the title, and it's some of the best matches Backlund has, like as champion, is against Adrian Adonis. Adrian Adonis, before he got fat, was just phenomenal.
Yeah. Even when he got fat, he was phenomenal. Because I never saw a round man
it wasn't
move
quite
like
the
that.
same. Wasn't quite the same.
He actually was round, and his arms and legs they looked like they were floating in air because he was too short for his round body. But that man could wrestle. He could go. He can go. You know.
But that's the crazy thing about the WWF is the show overtook the talent.
Yeah. It's sad too because they actually had good talent. But then if you want to look at the opposite side of the spectrum in WCW in the '80s tag team scene, as you mentioned before, you had the Fantastics. You had the Rock and Roll Express. Even if you want to include a new team, and even as shitty as they were, but they got all the hype. Even though they got exposed fast, it was the New Breed.
They did. I don't think they got exposed.
No.
They came in the scene with all this hype, Zeus, and all of a sudden, it turns out only one of them could actually wrestle and speak. The other one was like, it just didn't happen.
Well, I mean, the injury, the injury hurt a lot. Obviously.
I mean, like everybody used to talk about Chris Champion, and then, poof.
If they'd have lasted longer, I think they could have, at least challenged, more.
Yeah.
They were a lot of fun, and people loved the shit out of them too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you had the NWA back then. I mean, you had the Rock and Roll Express, you had Tully and Arn. I mean, these guys made magic,
Look,
magic.
1980s tag teams, like just throw a dart in whatever area you want to throw it. It's just you're going to find amazing tag teams in the 80s. It's never.
A lot of people were still traveling around too. Like, the Assassins were, even before the Crockett, incarnation. I mean, they had, there was, different groups of that, and the grapplers and
the grapplers,
which was also the Dirty White Boys, and it's just
before they came jobbers. How about the Moondogs?
Yeah, I mean, 80s tag team scene was just an unreal. But I mean, what I meant to say was it pales in comparison to that 2019-2020 AEW tag scene. Am I right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Speaking of AEW, Saraya makes us Paige or Saraya, the British whore shows up,
Hey, James, come on, James. Come on. She didn't get paid for that stuff.
Damn. Hang on, I gotta take this call. Oh, it's Ron.
Hey, so I've seen a lot of people discussing whether she's clear to wrestle or not. Some people are saying that she is still to this day not technically cleared to wrestle.
Right.
But then people are saying that the way the commentators talked about her in that segment and the way she was presented, she chased off like the hills. she's presented like someone who's going to wrestle, because the Excalibur, someone was saying like she can go and all this kind of stuff, and you're like, okay,
The amount of incredibly stupid shit that comes out of that guy's fucking mouth.
Yeah. I don't think. I mean, even if you're cleared to wrestle now at her age, would you take that chance? I mean, I think she should
really
be a manager. I know, but her body's not.
Right. She is. I'm not a gigantic Paige fan, but I am legit scared for her. Like,
yeah, I mean, you don't want to see her get hurt.
Her career's been ended twice now.
And all places, AEW, where nothing but daily botches and fucking stiffness and fuck ups.
Well,
I mean,
and especially with the women.
That same segment. That same segment. Did you see Britt break his face?
Yeah.
So
And it's funny. I saw a lot of people trying to put the blame on Britt Baker for that. They're like, "Well, she did that to herself." I'm like, she dropped Athena's body across her face like that herself.
Yeah, that was a dumbass spot too.
Yeah, Athena's a tiny lady. Why is she doing that spot? Like, this is like when Saya Ida in Stardom will do some of her suplex spots and people get spiked on their head. You're like, you're 4'9". Saya Ida is literally 4'9". Why is she trying to suplex people over her head? She doesn't have the height and the clearance to do it. Like, it doesn't matter if she's strong enough. She doesn't have the height and the clearance to do it. Don't fucking do it. It's like, it's stupid. There's all these other spots you can do. You don't need to do that one.
Yeah, exactly, Brian. Yeah, she's cashed in on the green on Twitch, so it's not like she needs the money. I mean, sure, I'm sure Tony Khan cut her a fat check, but still, I mean, is it worth it? I mean,
maybe they met somewhere over a mutual love of something white. Who knows? But
hang on, just a second.
I don't. But to me, she didn't look like she was moving all that gingerly. I mean, maybe it was the shoes that she was wearing, but
it's a bad idea.
That war coming down the ring wasn't all that. She looked very
It's a bad idea.
Bad
idea.
She was taped to a backboard.
Saraya in AEW is a bad idea. Unless she's commentating or she's managing, it's a bad idea.
Yeah,
I think, like Zeus said in our chat, I think she should marry. I think she should manage Ruby Soho.
I was like, wow.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Ruby Soho
is injured. I know, right? After she comes back from her injury.
Yes, apparently her nose is not only broken, like it's like super broken.
Yeah, I think she got the Charlotte Flair thing going on, where like it fucked up her lip too and her thing. So
yeah, it will work about as good as Joe Kazuna. Yeah, Samoa Joe needs to hang it up too. Samoa Joe was great at his time, but he's been so injury prone for so long, and he's really he was good at the commentating when he was doing it for a while in the WWE. Yeah. He should just stick to that. Same with Paige. Paige has a lot of charisma. She's got a lot of personality. Yeah. She can talk. Well, just manage or commentate. I mean, that's what I would use her for.
You remember when she was managing Mandy Rose and
who?
Mandy Rose and the girl, the authority figure girl. I can't remember her name.
Sonya Deville.
Mm-hmm. Sonya Deville. Yeah, there you go.
Sonya Deville. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolution.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bad idea, but I mean, so many things right now are bad ideas. It's just what it is. I hope she doesn't wrestle. Just for her own sake, I hope she doesn't wrestle. But.
Yeah, I think it'd be a bad idea. I totally agree with you guys because why chance it these days? Like Like, it's not worth it, man.
Yeah, especially there.
Especially,
Like you're saying, you know,
Especially there.
revenue streams, you know,
yeah.
places and
There are places where she can easily make money now. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. It's the cool of the ring. You know, like a whole family was wrestling. You know, like it's in her blood. I get it, but come on, man. I mean,
well, you know, like for you know, like and when you talk about Ric Flair not retiring, it's like, well, you know, he's still paying out money to five
yeah.
women, you know, it's like.
Well, that's because he's an idiot outside the ring. You know,
Ric Flair was in. There was a thing about him this week saying like he's not sure he regrets saying that was his last match. That show recently.
Yeah, but his performance should speak for himself because his performance says that was his last match. That was horrible.
I think they must have made a lot of money. That's why he's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that was my last match.
Well, that's why they made a lot of money because it was supposed to be a match.
You know?
Now he's like, I meant that was my last tour.
I mean, this was my last match with my son-in-law.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm waiting for Dominic Mysterio to have his last match. That I'll celebrate.
No. Dominic as Rhea's sub or whatever.
I like that. I like that.
Oh, it's amazing. I can't believe
yeah.
I can't believe I like it, but I like it.
I do too. I like it.
I don't know why.
It's because he's the perfect person to play the bitch. Look at him. That fucking mullet. He has you know, him and Dakota Kai can easily change outfits because they're fucking interchangeable.
He looks a lot better now than he, you know, the pictures I've seen of him, you know.
And let me say, Dominic with like emo makeup on and stuff, wearing all black is like the best Dominic that we could possibly hope for. So
that's the best.
He has to learn how to cut a promo though. He was atrocious on the mic.
Like Eminem Jr. in the custody battle between and Ray.
I mean, James, he really doesn't have to say too much. Like he just needs to be in the mix in that group and let Rhea say whatever she says, you know, talking about being his mammy or his pappy, and just leave it at that. He just has to nod his head and be douchey, and it's like, okay.
So they finally found something for him that works.
Right.
You know what's funny about that stable though? What do they call Judgment Day?
Yeah.
Damian Priest is like Andre the Giant next to a bunch of kids. They're all so tiny. I know. They're all so tiny next to him. Like, you're like, so Damian Priest should really be the leader of this group.
What is Priest? 6'5"?
I don't know. He I mean,
or 6'6", something like that. 6'5".
Yeah, it makes you wonder how short everyone in the group is. Rhea Ripley, her arms are like double the size of Dominic's head. So
yeah,
but who knows?
Yeah, it's a fun little thing.
Yeah, you know the thing I'm finding, a lot of people are overpraising some of this the Triple H era of WWE. I think the presentation and the storylines have tightened up a lot. They've gotten a lot better. But I still think the in-ring stuff is the same problem the whole industry wide. Like no one is doing good work anymore.
Right.
And like if there might be an anomaly here and there, you know, like Walter versus Sheamus or something, but otherwise it's just all going to be variations of stuff. And
that opening tag team match on that last SmackDown was a couple of weeks ago. That was great. That thing was fantastic.
I think it's one of those things where we have to get used to. You have to accept it's lesser.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's still early in Triple H's reign, so time will tell. You know?
He'll be Booker of the Year soon, James.
Yeah. Oh, that's where Tony Khan will throw a fit.
All right, here. Y'all want to see what I've been sketching?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
that is hot. Good job, Zeus.
So
That's fucking hot.
Nice.
That
That's
belongs
good.
on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Zeus,
Make
that
that
belongs
move.
on a fucking t-shirt, man.
it's coming. So
That's
Make-
hot.
Make the Muda t-shirt money.
Yeah.
I'll put that in Illustrator. And
I'll be an honorary Muda head.
Just put fuck Meltzer on the back. It'll be
Yeah.
actually, you remember that really famous Great Muda snippet from All Japan where he's wrestling, I think, Dr. Death, and he gets out of the ring and he goes, "Motherfucker."
Oh, yeah, it's a Triple Crown title match. And for some reason, I don't know why, they just curse the entire match. Both guys are just cursing at each other the entire match. Fuck you! Fuck you! I don't know why.
That was
that's
when
what it
Dr.
was.
Death was still Dr. Death.
It's
Well,
like watching kids when they when somebody older than them has taught them foreign curse words. They just start doing it all the time.
James, it was kind of Steve Williams was way past his prime at that point. He was a shell of his former self, but
God bless him.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was in his prime in, the days in Mid-South.
This was like 2001, 2002.
Oh, that was
yeah.
That's way.
You know what's crazy is like I saw one of his matches from like '84, I want to say, in Mid-South. He was just not really good at all. I mean, just like he could have been any big guy that size.
Yeah.
Within like a year or whatever. I mean, he was just, a year or two. I mean, after he started wrestling with DiBiase and a lot of those guys, that's another good fucking tag team. Steve.
Oh yeah.
Well, then I'll pose this question to you, Zeus. Was Dr. Death overrated?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
He just couldn't get it. After he just didn't have a great relationship with with any of the last big American promoters.
Mm-hmm. And the Bart Gunn thing ended any chance like at the end there here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, sadly, but it was a dumb idea anyways.
Tough enough. Another stupid ass fucking idea, but
yeah.
But yeah, Dr. Death, I can't say he was overrated. I think he was. I think at times maybe he came off. He wasn't maybe the smartest guy in the world. So. Maybe that kind of hurt some of his stuff, but he had great runs at so many places. So I mean, and he was part of so many memorable things. So I mean, he kind of had what he had his the Mid-South UWF career. He had the
NWA run.
The NWA run, what was that thing? The Varsity Club. He had the thing with the Varsity Club. Then he had a whole giant run in Japan with All Japan. He was a Triple Crown champion. He had memorable matches. He had memorable title, this and this. He had the tag team with Terry Gordy that was amazing, and runs in Japan and runs in WCW. I mean, I think he hit his ceiling, and then. What more was there to be done?
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah.
And he just, he just had his shelf life was just as short. It was shorter than other people's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll never forget. I mean, I got to see him and Terry Gordy against the Steiners.
Oh wow,
that sounds hot. That right there just sounds hot.
I mean, that was just days after winning the NWA World Tag Team titles. I mean, they were just.
You ever want to see someone die? Just watch any of the Dr. Death and Kenta Kobashi matches in those backyard drivers.
Yeah.
So just watch someone die. So
Kenta Kobashi was brutal. God,
I
fuck
mean,
you up.
the backdrop drivers that Steve Williams was giving him, like in that September '94 match. Oh shit! Like bye Kobashi. I don't know how much of your life just got shaved off there, but it's quite a bit.
Ooh.
That's all those guys, right? I feel weird saying that when I remember. Oh yeah, Masawa died from taking a gazillion
Yeah, I was,
drops on his head.
He literally died from an injury in the ring.
yeah.
Well, so next
Actually,
week.
who do
maybe-
you? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no! What I was just gonna say, next week maybe we start on the dungeons. We start the campaign. Finally.
Yeah. We'll try it next week. Well, it depends on how you're feeling. You know,
How
if you're
you
ready
feel?
to go, then to disinfect your
That's the whole thing. Is we can
guitar.
we can get going and the characters can still be finished out as we go.
Right.
Fair enough. Right.
You know, you
Right.
don't have to do any more than you've done already. Because
Right.
my idea was that we only have to do it when we want to do it on the show.
Right.
Fair enough.
But like
Perfect.
I said, you obviously still have not played with the figurine maker, because if you had
No, I got to play with that thing. I keep saying I got to play with it, and I don't, and I definitely have to.
I want someone to just turn on the show right in this last thing.
Your campaign is all ready to go, right, Zeus?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness!
I gotta play with that game.
You know, it's a whole,
Sting should retire. Fucking Muda should leave AEW. Paige is an idiot for going back.
well, I guess, Muda just in town for right now. And then
Yeah, I know, but it's just.
Don't worry, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. None of it matters right now.
I know.
James,
I know he wants to play
Dungeon.
with his buddy, and his buddy happens to be in AEW. I get it.
Indeed.
Look.
Yeah, and there's
Dungeons and Dragons.
right.
Yeah.
Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons baseball, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And-
You're right.
And look, if I have to remind you of what's important, then let me close the show with this. Where were you when you learned that Meltzer gave Sergeant Sheik Boot Camp 4.5 stars? Man, fuck that guy. This is Mark Out Mania. We marking out for real.